The Maudlin Mermaid Waffle. I'm doing sight words with my 7-year-old son, Art Show, documented as Arthur Morrison Cornbluth on his social security card, which looked more badass than it sounds when I received it in the mail. Coming up with the middle name Morrison for my son was a divine blessed miracle. Despite Sam Harris's snippy claims of belief based hogwash otherwise, because Morrison creates an actual flow to Cornbluth, which is easier said than done. One time, I considered naming my first son Arthur Brooks Cornbluth in honor of funny man Hebrews who have inspired me to become a professional funny man one day, such as the perpetually smug dour Albert Brooks. But then I changed my mind because I didn't want to give my son the permission to be a victimized, plagued Jewish pussy. At the same time, I also like the idea of pissing off my dad with the name Arthur Morrison Cornbluth, so he could say to me, Morrison isn't very Jewish, genius, only for me to reply with, but up-and-coming Jewish comedians who want to break into show business have changed their last names since the dawn of time to come across as less overtly kvetchy, pushover Jewy, like Jonathan Leibowitz, who changed his name to John Stewart, or Andrew Silverstein, who went with straight up dice. I fucked her after jacking the buddy love asshole persona from the original Nutty Professor and Elvis's puffed up Pomodoro hairdo while also pumping the entirety of Mother Goose rhymes for all they were worth. Holla! Thank you very much! So, it's okay for self-motivated, scrappy comedians on the rise to change their names the way Rodney and Joan did, but it isn't kosher to give my son the middle name Morrison because it reminds you too much of Toni Morrison, Van Morrison, or Tommy the Gun Morrison from Rocky 5 Dad. I don't get it. I know you prefer Bob Dylan's Word Dumbs over Van Morrison, or my own for that matter. Still, I'm not giving my son permission to drink himself to death by the Magic 27 the way Jim Mojo motherfucking Rosin did. Instead, my son has an effortlessly cool, larger-than-life name to live up to, who won't lie to reporters about his parents dying in a car accident discovered by Indians to avoid talking about his cold, distant, disapproving dad, despite being the dark prince, a poetic rock of his day. Can I get a holla for raising the roof a long time, for preaching the gospel a long time? I love you, Jimbo. Your poetic thrust lives through my son, Archer USA. Holla! Thank you very much! I never considered changing my last name in a sneaky, misleading attempt to break in to show business in a more palatable, less in-your-face, Jewy way. Although I did experiment on stage during my years in the open mic circuit throughout dumpy tiny bars within the talent agent-free hinterlands of northern Westchester County by having the MC introduce me as Michael Rocker for a bit. I had good sets with that name, too. But stopped using it because the stage name, Michael Rocker, started sounding like an easily discarded first name idea for the new porn up-and-comer actor to replace Dirk Diggler as a new face of VHS tape porn in Boogie Nights. Paul Thomas Anderson lives. Holla! Thank you very much! Since I become a practicing koshertarian comedian, the idea of changing my last name to blend in better with our Christian-dominated nation at large fails to give me sustained stiffage too. Just to give the MC at the comedy club or open mic townie bar in Northern Westchester an easier last name to enunciate than Cornbluth. Cornbluth is a total mouthful. I get it. Kim Kardashian can't wrap her mouth around it. But now Kim Kardashian is going to become a social justice lawyer. Social justice lawyers are so hot right now. What makes Sammy run on Amazon, not so much. Holla! Thank you very much! Also, after just watching Mank on Netflix, the stubbornly depressing, factual based reality of Jewish moguls, such as Louis B. Mayer, being hesitant to pressure Washington to stop Hitler from franchising concentration camps like Johnny fucking Rockets throughout Poland and Germany out of fear of hurting MGM's profits from the number one overseas market of its time, the China of its day, drains me of any lingering leftover desire to become a woke chameleon to play nice with the dream factories founded by Jewish moguls, complicit in being engaged in the Nazi profiteering business, making them no better than Joe Kennedy in my book. Holla for preaching the gospel a long time. Thank you very much! For my daughter's 10th birthday a couple of weeks ago, I wanted to make kosher barbecue brisket sliders. My wife got tense about the concept. I said, why are you tense about telling your mom about our family rocking the koshertarian diet? Oh yeah. She performed Eucharist on our three kids behind my back. I totally blanked for a second. We don't want to advertise any affiliation with the Jewish faith in our home when your parents are in town. I got it. It's like forcing your mom to eat a shit sandwich with Biden's mask nappy on while gagging on such rancid, unpleasant, in your face, totally unasked for, unsolicited Jewishness. It's a borderline suicidal triggering offense on par with Meghan Markle being forced to balance the Queen of England's gin and tonics on her head for Charm School Posture 101 when she wasn't lounging in the VIP box at Wimbledon, having it all to herself while banning all reporters from the premises, thinking even Beyonce isn't white looking enough to get away with this shit. Holla! Thank you very much! Yeah, so if Meghan Markle was ever really suicidal while nursing a thumb sprain for losing a thumb wrestling match to Michelle Obama after a post-Wimbledon party which got out of hand over who got first dibs on pegging Archie from behind before his face got rammed into the royal tapestry rug to the point where his freckles got smooshed off his freaking face in the process. Even then, Meghan Markle never would have written a passive-aggressive suicide note on par with the one Kate Spade left for her only daughter and husband, which read, "Dad will explain." Kate Spade's widowed husband reads the suicide note out loud at the time and screams, "Dad will explain? Dad will explain what, Kate? I was the one who was impossible to live with? What a bag of shit, Kate! Holla! Thank you very much!" So I'm doing more sight words with my son, Arthur Morrison Kornbluth, this morning. And he only gets two wrong, still prompting me to call him a fake news genius and bubble tape brain after he failed to recognize the word saw, despite me acting out using a handsaw to chop off his femur in half as he howled shrieks of endless, joyous, angelic delight. But believing in a loving God is equivalent to believing in an indifferent alien psychopath such as Predator. Right, Sam Harris? I know scientists can't prove God exists despite you building a successful podcast career playing a pseudo-brainier, punch-free, zero gravitas exuding version of Bill Maher for a living for daring to accuse Christians of killing, torturing, and enslaving in the name of the original Super Jew of his time. No offense, Sam Harris. Holla! Thank you very much! Also, I hate to burst your meditative, vastly spiritually bubble, Sam Harris, but the Torah wasn't written by Tony Kushner either, because then it would come across as excessively wordy, even for Kevin Smith's taste. Get Kevin Smith away from those damn tablets. Punching up Goodwill Hunting isn't the same as punching up the Old Testament. Mallrats lives. Holla. Thank you very much. Get that kid off the damn escalator. Mallrats lives. Holla. Thank you very much. Later, my son's ecstatic high was short-lived after Mama presented her Kellogg's brand of purple Mermaid waffles. Don't get me wrong, the whipped cream and blueberries was a nice touch on top, but it couldn't remove the scarring image of what Grimace puked after a group of kids gave him a barrage of leg jumps in the 80s in the ball pit at McDonald's in the height of Hulkamania, assuming he was a secret lost who drank too many vodka-laced lavender smoothies between bathroom breaks in between. So much for running out of ideas for new chapter entries for the Koshetarian comedian. Despite my total non-involvement in Mama's Maudlin Mermaid Waffle bust or not, although my wife trying to upstage me as our new in-house Koshetarian comedian failed to materialize in her favor when she kidded about the frozen mermaid waffles being made of mermaid blood or something gross like that. And related news, did you know Neil Young left his wife of 25 years for the actress Daryl Hannah? Talk about a match made in hippie heaven. Neil Young's publicist told Rolling Stone off the record, Neil Young is going through a post midlife never banged a mermaid crisis. What Gen X dads understand, holla. Thank you very much. This is the Do It All Dad Year podcast. What Gen X dads understand, obviously. Hate to sound like a repetitive jerk off over here, but it seemed like a good opportunity to maximize that catchphrase for all it's worth. And I'll talk to you guys soon.